Well, hello, everybody, all my SPAC friends and family. It is Tuesday, and shortly after 2 o'clock here on the West Coast, and it must be time for SPAC Chat. This week, we are talking about a topic that probably is occupying your thoughts and minds because you're getting ready for one of the busiest seasons of the year, right? So we've got two great guys who are going to come on here and talk to you about some solutions and help you organize yourself. I also just want to mention that we have early bird registrations is open. Early bird registrations is deadline this year is September 30th, folks. So please remember, you don't have until October this year. It's September 30th for the early bird registration. That is the lowest price that we have. It's a great opportunity to snag that low rate because you know already that SPAC is going to deliver with the best education and trade show worldwide. So that's an opportunity. Another opportunity that is knocking for you if you have never been to SPAC. I mean, you've heard about SPAC, maybe people at your lab or in your e-commerce stream talk about SPAC, or maybe you're just someone new to volume photography. SPAC is the place to be. We're a nonprofit organization that we really are geared towards education, engagement, and enrichment of your business. We are here to provide you support. You're not in it alone. We have a wonderful community, and SPAC is the place to find it. We do have a first-time attendee scholarship, and that scholarship period ends on September 15th. Now, what's important to know about that, folks, is if you've never been to SPAC, you qualify. We do not cover your travel or your hotel, but it does cover all of your conference fees, all the engagement, all the parties, all the food, all the classes, the trade show. Everything is included in that package. And this year, the board has been so great. We are going to be funding 40 scholarships this year. So there's 40 that have an opportunity to make your way to Vegas in January and join us. Okay, that is all I have for my really important top of the hour announcements. Now let's bring on our host, Calvin Harrell.
Hey, hi, folks, Calvin. Good morning. Thank you so much, Miss Corey. Yeah, it is that time of year where we start getting ready for the SPAC event. It is the volume photography event of the year. We don't discourage anybody from attending any of the conferences that people put on because there's going to be information that you'll get from each of them that are valuable. But when it comes to the World Series, the championship, the Super Bowl, the whatever you want to call it, the Olympics, SPAC puts on what would be defined as the Olympics of the industry. And that is we provide the greatest number of vendors in a single location in a very large hall. The hall has been expanded. We're adding more booths this year to the conference. So when you come to speaking to the vendors that you're going to do business with, those vendors that have specialized in developing services and products to support the volume photography industry, SPAC is the place to be. You will be able to talk to camera vendors, equipment vendors, and service providers of all type. Two of the service providers that we hope will be at SPAC, and they certainly are here today, have been supporters of the industry and have been developing things in a different way. You know, we oftentimes talk about the software in the industry, and software it's like, how do I process a picture? How do I post a picture? How do I sell a picture? We talk about all of those things, but really one of the most critical things at the front end of the process, at the front end of the cycle, is how do I organize myself and my organization so that we don't leave anything unturned? In the olden days, it would be a 3.5 by 5 card. But now with the way that we do things, it's so radically different. And yes, I'm old enough to know what a 3.5 by 5 index card was. But the things we do so different now in the industry relative to the use of digital technology, the ongoing development of technology, et cetera, we really need to look at ways that we can use a product that will help us organize ourselves from the beginning of the process. Now, I don't want to suggest that it's too late to get started with any of the things that we're going to talk about today. I will suggest that you have to start somewhere, and it's better to start now as a side project that you only push a couple of projects through, a couple of events or schools through, And then you can ramp it up over the course of the next year so that at the beginning of next school year, next school season, you'll be 100% ready to go. So without any further ado, I'm bringing on Andrew and Scott. Andrew is with Vernon Photography, and Scott is with Vernon Photography. I'm sorry, Shoot Assist, and Scott Rogers is with Air Studio. Both are providers of organizational software and management for your business. So let's get started. Hey, Scott, tell us a little bit about who you are and who the company is, how it came about. Let's get started that way, and people will understand why you have the insight, both of you have the insight that you do in the operational development of businesses.
Air Studio was started 4 years ago for our actually main photography operation, which does about 150 schools, Stuart Rogers in Chicago. We had a platform that was a legacy-based server in the basement thing that was amazing. Actually did e-commerce, did the whole thing, but it was a server in the basement, which no longer is really the way to go. Air Studio is designed to manage everything that your Captura, God Photo, those platforms do not. So it wraps around those. We integrate right into them. So you're seeing all of the links and galleries straight through our platform, but it handles employee scheduling, equipment management, task management, like workflow, CRM for prospecting. Kind of that's the gist of it. All in one place, all the data in one place. And then we have AI for data analysis. If you want to know how much you made on a school, you can ask it how much you made on a school.
That's a beautiful thing. Hey, Andrew, now that you got the lead, he told you what you better talk about, so go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I love how similar our stories are, to be honest. And honestly, Calvin, you weren't far off. So my parents own a photography business called Vernon Photography. I worked for them for quite a long number of years and really got a taste of the industry. And Shoot Assist was built essentially trying to solve a lot of the just repeated problems that I saw. My mom especially is the one that's in charge of scheduling and employee scheduling, kind of managing the schedule, CRM, client contact, all of that. So Shoot Assist was built to solve those problems. And word has spread that we had this software. And so it became something that originally was built just for my family's business. And then I've rolled out to photographers across the country. It sounds very similar to Air Studio. Shoot Assist is targeted at managing your relationship with your clients, and capital C. So in that case, I'm referring to schools or sports leagues, dance studios. I've found that the gallery companies are very good at managing that second tier relationship with your parents. And so Shoot Assist draws a line in the sand there to say, we're going to manage that relationship with your clients, try to make that as seamless as possible. And really the goal is to put your business in a position where you can run like you're a small studio, even as you scale to hundreds of clients, and remember all the little details about each client along the way.
All right, that's a beautiful, beautiful definition. Look, the young man did something for his mama and found out he had to sell it. I think that's a wonderful story. You know, we always do something for the mama, okay? I don't care where you're from. Keep mama happy.
I love that, Andrew, because I actually work with my mom for many years too in this
awesome.
Photo business.
Yeah,
I think it's common in our industry.
Don't leave her out, Scott. Yeah, very important in the game. Okay, Corey, we know you got that mom look. Okay, yeah, we are.
yes.
Anywho, let's dig into it a little bit. And Andrew, let's start with you.
Sure.
And it's more of a not the specific. Yes, there are specifics to your software that you're going to divulge through this conversation, but it's not really about your software. It's about the benefits of using tools of this nature and what are the things that we need to look for when we're exploring the use of tools of this nature. There's all kind of commercially available products, 7 hats, and I can't name all of them that have been around, and folks say, I use this one and I use that one. You can see it on the forums. But you guys have, you and Scott with the Air Studio product, Shoot Assist product, you guys have developed something within the confines of our industry for industry-specific related software, and that's a unique place to be in the data management software in side of things. Because, I mean, some of us have developed generics, in-house proprietary systems that really can't expand at the rate that technology is allowing things to expand. Because remember, we're photographers first. You know, we happen to use software. We might employ a technologist or people that can craft programs to work for us, but it really is not expandable when that person walks out the door. So having somebody like you guys at the table to provide us with the service is truly valuable. So will you give us an idea of what the start point is? What is you've talked about what you are able to do by using the software, and that's be organized. But let's talk about what are the components that people need to look at in this process.
Yeah, I think that's a great way of describing it. Really, if you take the software and set it aside, both of our solutions, I would say it's fair to say, are about processes and consistency in your processes. And so really, Shoot Assist is targeted at solving a couple of problems. The first one being implementing a solution where as much of your business details as possible are in one place and documented in a way that everybody on your team can access. They understand exactly where the work is, where you are in your workflow, and understand what it is that needs to be done next. And that really applies across the flow of your business, from planning photography throughout a school year or a season ahead of time to actually making that photography happen and delivering it after the photo shoot. And so a couple areas that Shoot Assist touches on, specifically kind of solving those problems. The first one would be workflows. So we know that while some details change from client to client, for the most part, when you do a fall portrait job, the steps that need to happen are the same. And it's very important that none of those steps are missed, that they're all completed in the right order, at the right time, on the right schedule. And so because those steps are so repeatable, we can implement a system, whether that's Shoot Assist or Air Studio or 17 hats, like you said. The most important thing is having a system where you define what those steps are. You make sure that everybody's on board with what the steps are, the order, all of that, and then you track it. And so Shoot Assist makes that especially easy because you define that once. And then anytime you schedule a fall portrait job, it just automatically goes, okay, you're doing fall portraits. I'm going to create all those steps for you, and let's check them off as you go.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Scott, you got something to fill in the blanks, because that defines what you guys are able to do as well, does it not?
It does, Ty. We both do a very similar thing, and I think the goal, I'm sure, for both platforms is to bring everything in under one roof, so that you're not using Excel sheets and Google Calendars and Outlook and all of these other tools. And then by getting everything under one roof for workflow management, for equipment management, for staff management, what excites me the most is that you can then take all of that data and run P&Ls on your schools and know which ones are making money for you, which ones are not. Tell which one of your photographers is breaking too many lenses, all that kind of cool stuff. Having it all in one place is so fun. And then beyond that, applying that to your sales pipeline and saying, well, these schools in this county don't make as much as those schools, and kind of getting a value of that incoming pipeline, so you know where to put your sales resources as well. I mean, it's all about the data.
It is about data. And in that management, as you speak of, and identifying schools that are not as marginally profitable, et cetera, you're also able to say, do I want to retain the school on dates that are not popular by anybody else? We're going to hold these off until, late October. We can still make delivery, but we're not going to give them premium dates August, September, and early October. It ain't going to happen. And you work from that side, but it gives you real tangible data to be able to understand and make decisions on the basis of data, as opposed to my gut feel is we didn't make any money over there. Your gut feel ain't very good because you're not calculating certain other factors.
I will say that at about 8 years ago at the Stuart Rogers, which is the company we built it for, we were doing about 300 schools, and my partner and I, actually everybody at the company was miserable. And we ran a P&L on everything by hand, right? We just went through all 300 and ended up firing about 40% of them and making more money and being happier.
Yeah. I was about to say
money and happiness.
The data might turn you into not being considered a friend by some people. Shouldn't have never considered you a friend in the first place. Whether we like it or not, it's the reality of the world of business. And yes, you can shave off business, reduce volume, and that's why I often people, how many schools does so and so do? What difference does it make? You know, you can do 100 elementary schools with 100 kids in it each, which is, 10,000 kids, and 4 high schools have got 10,000 kids. Yeah. There's a big, but I only have 4 setups as opposed to 100. How many staff do I need for that? So it's really, when you start to think of it as business people, as opposed to simply photography people that said, I do this business and I can get some money doing it this way, or I can stay in this channel of business or creativity because it does generate the revenue that I need to live. You don't have to be in that space. You can say, wait a minute, we should be only doing these schools. I don't have it. There's a profitability chart, or I forgot what it was called. I saw when I was younger, years ago, and it showed that as you increase price by a certain percentage, you can reduce the business volume by a certain percentage. And if those folks, if you get it 20%, you can reduce your business by 50%, because the 20% reduction is going to be the reduction of the waste, the chaff, the stuff that you can't do while you're making more profits. So I would love to find that chart because it would help people understand more about pricing. And I'm sure somebody has it out there, and we can probably make it with ChatGPT. ChatGPT can be our friend, okay? Don't laugh. You know what I'm saying is true. So that's wonderful to talk about the data-driven processes. What does it take you once you set up a process? A school scheduling, contact information, letters that you might send out, because I'm sure you've got drip email in there as well. Is that accurate? Drip email to those clients, and that's
text messaging too.
Yeah. So once it's set up, how long does it take you to onboard a new account? Either of you can answer that question.
You want to go, Andrew? I was last. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, happy to. Adding a new account to Shoot Assist is under 30-second, like adding a new client to Shoot Assist is an under 30-second process of getting the client themselves and their data into the system. Now from there, you're obviously going to set up a number of photo shoots. That adds time, but creating the client profiles very quickly.
And are you the same over at Air Studio, Scott?
Yes and no. What we're finding is we're bringing people on because we cover everything from staff management to equipment management to billing to marketing emails, and we can actually do marketing for both client bookings and also tie into the galleries. We're finding people take pieces of it. So I have some companies that decided they're just going to take on equipment because it can be overwhelming to try to do your whole company at once. And it's risky. I totally get it. And then I have other companies that have come on and said, we're just going to do senior scheduling because that's a good piece. We can make some money on it. They know actually ours kind of pays for itself on that. And then I've had other companies, it's just go all in. So it really depends on how much they want to. I'm sure, Andrew, some companies will just be right on it and get it all going. And others, you're kind of helping along and getting it rolling. So
in your opinion, and I know this question is kind of a loaded and could be a biased question, but I have to ask it. In your opinion, what size organizations should strongly be considering the implementation of the tools that you have? And the reason I say that is because oftentimes people say, I don't need that yet. I'm not there yet. When the reality is if they're doing 10 schools, 10 jobs, that'd be sports leagues, schools combined, whatever. If they're doing 10, it may behoove them to get into it now if they're going to grow their business. Perhaps they only want 10 and don't want to go beyond 10, and maybe they can keep it on the index cards as we talked about earlier. But what do you guys think is the entry point, that's the logical entry point for someone to use the services?
Well, I assume that we're both kind of priced to have any level. I mean, it just, if you're a small studio, it just makes your life easier. So you have more time to, you know, go out and enjoy the weather. You're not looking at 20 different sheets to try to figure out who's shooting what today.
Well,
I have to agree with that. Like having one thing over in Google Sheets and one thing over here and one thing,
Corey, do not tell them about our SPAC organization or how this conference gets pulled together. They have no idea. Corey, where is that form?
I think everybody's been there. Yeah, I would agree. I don't think that there's a size at which you wouldn't be benefited by putting systems in place. And the other thing I'll point out is the larger that your company grows, the harder it becomes to go back and retroactively put systems in place. Like the best case scenario would be to start while you're small and grow on those systems. Now, obviously, they'll change as your business grows, but the earlier you can put them in place, the better position you'll be to grow on them and have a life while you do it.
And to that extent, let me pose this question, and that is, the data is the photographer's data, the company's data. They can download it at any time. Is that correct?
Yes.
So realistically, before your first school or first league, it might be wise to jump into something like this, because your data is your data and you can use it in any place. But this gives you the foundational organizational structure that you'll need for whatever other software that you might use in the future. It's just a reality that all of us have to recognize is, while there's a fee-based service, it causes freedom, because that's what you guys have both talked about heavily. And I have a feeling that in your particular position, Andrew, when you built that software for Mom, you said, I don't have to do the work I'm doing every day on this school picture gig. I can do software and have a life. So, you know, Scott, I don't know if you're in the same kind of general place, but that would make sense why you went into this element of, or this part of the industry, which is so sorely needed. Scott, are you much the same in that regard?
Well, and yes, it does also allow you to do more business with less staff. A well-designed platform. You can handle more calls. You don't need as many, support staff. You can schedule people much more easily. The other thing that is something to consider too is I assume we have a school admin portal so that you can really take the burden off of yourself for all of the SOC, all the compliance stuff that is in place now. It's very state by state. There are a lot of rules related to that data. And I'm sure with both of our platforms, their schools can upload it, and it's all under those SOC 2 compliance standards, which is they're complicated. You don't want to do those yourself.
and this is so that people are familiar, because I think that we have to talk to a very broad audience, age-wise, experience-wise, knowledge-wise. The SOC 2 compliance and the other compliances, so that you're not receiving data from the school on an unsecured email process.
Exactly.
So you're not going back and forth. So those are things that it doesn't happen often where a problem comes up. But when it does happen, it is explosive and can do significant damage to your business in the community that you're serving.
Calvin, can I ask a question? Where would a photographer find out what area? Because I know that varies state by state. So where would a photographer find out what compliance steps they need to be following?
They find out best by getting software that does it already. I mean, I'm sorry, guys. Am I selling for you? No, but
it is a whole process to be compliant. It's beyond even me. I'm sure you have it too, Andrew. You hire a company to get yourself compliant, and it's for getting the data. It's also for delivering deliverables, your exports, all that stuff are supposed to be secure.
Yeah, to be clear, so this is a particular area that Shoot Assist has not stepped into yet for this reason. I'm a one-man show, and it does vary location to location. And so, there are benefits to that because Shoot Assist can be agnostic when it comes to the platforms you already have in place for handling and delivering data. But on the flip side, yeah, one-stop shop can be nice if you know that somebody has vetted the particular requirements in an area. As far as finding out your local requirements, a lot of times the local school board can be a great source of information when it comes to understanding what's required. I'd also Google the COPA and FERPA as a really great framework for understanding the requirements of dealing with student data in particular, and what that looks like.
Student data has always been a challenge for folks. So often they have a hard time getting data and that sort of thing. I've always wondered, why is it so hard? Perhaps it's because of the relationships, or certain communities have certain stringent, personalities, shall we say. But the reality is all data now is sensitive, and we have to treat it as sensitive, whether we think it's necessary or not. So looking up the FERPA piece and looking up the other elements that would make you compliant with schools, that's a job in itself. Mm-hmm. That you might want to just, as Scott said, no, we have another company that handles all of that, because it's just not cost effective to do it yourself. The other piece that, and you gave it to us, and the other piece that I want to tiptoe around, but the more information you give to the school district, like going to them to ask questions of that nature, the more their antenna go up and say, we're not in compliance as a district. We're going to make this photographer start doing this stuff before we're even in compliance. That creates challenges it can create challenges for photographers. So just be aware of how you pose questions to the people that you're talking to, so that you don't alert them to what you've been doing wrong. And you don't alert them to the fact that they're doing it wrong, because they're the deep pockets. Let's face it. If they're the ones agreeing to do business with you and something goes wrong, the school district's going to be held responsible, less the photographer. So
it's interesting, Calvin, when you talk about that, how many clients will send the school secretary, like, this is how you get it to us, right? Mm-hmm. You just click this link, it'll take you right, and then they reply with the email with the data attached. Yep. Well, I got my data. I did my best.
I don't care. Right. I don't care. I got what I needed. Right. At the end of the day, we're making those camera cards tomorrow morning. We can't reach anybody. It's 4:00. So yes, no, that's very, very truthful. Do you guys? I don't know if you were prepared for this, and I don't know if it's something that is kosher with you. But do you have anything to show on screen that you might be able to share with us? What some of the data, just a sheet of open house, the dashboard, shall we say? If you could just pop those up with using the share button, Corey, they're available. They're available to can share.
Go ahead down below. Just go ahead and hit the present. Figure out what screen it is.
Is the present the new red area? No, that's leave.
Down below, we're behind the curtain, where all the boxes are behind the curtain.
I don't see them.
There's another box that says present.
I'm not seeing a present button. Does anybody see a present button?
Yeah, I got one.
Oh, it's big as day. It's right next to our gallery of this studio.
He didn't listen to me. He doesn't listen to me. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
I'll text you next time.
What husband listens to their wives the first time?
Exactly.
So if you're willing, just to show us a dashboard so we can see what are the data fields that are needed. Okay, there we go. There's Air Studio. All right, so walk us through what you got going on here. This looks like actually a schedule for schools.
This is kind of the core of it, just the basic scheduling of both the school events and the staff scheduling here, who's going to be on that event. the CRM is just a list of organizations. Equipment, there's a whole equipment management piece where you can build bags, assign bags, put those bags on jobs. Task is his workflow that Andrew was talking about. You create a set of tasks for a given job and then add them to jobs, and it will list what who's doing what, basically. It's a whole billing system. The file system is file uploads and downloads. It's also used for things like attaching PDFs of parking instructions, whatever it happens to be. There's a form section. ChatGPT is for data analysis and also answering emails from customers. It'll give you a really good first draft. And that's in a 3-second go through. That's kind of what it does.
Yeah.
So it's basically, employees obviously is employees,
and the data. For instance, you talk about billing. Does that interface with QuickBooks or another?
We didn't do QuickBooks yet. It's actually, billing is for keeping track of session fees, no-show fees, resit fees. Also, you can bill accounts it's all through Stripe integration.
Okay, Stripe. Okay.
Yeah, and but it does for senior scheduling. It bills. You can set up policies where if the kids don't show up, they're automatically billed $25. You decide how much, but we actually find that most studios pay for the platform with the no-show and the cancel fees right up front, because.
And I think it's reasonable. I think it's from a position of, if you don't show up at the dentist and when you have an appointment and you didn't call in advance to cancel, you're gonna get an invoice.
Yeah.
So where does the professionalism? We have to draw the line between a business operation, professional business operation, and just a photographer that, we can drop in anytime we want. No, we don't. No, we have appointments.
Yeah. I mean, they in this platform, when they're booking their session, they click a checkbox that says if you set the time frames, but if they don't show, they're going to pay $25 and collects their credit card. It just boom goes through. So those just start showing up. The test studio that did 8,000 seniors actually billed 15,000 of those in the last year, which was crazy. We're at the number like, oh my God, but nobody complained either because they know they did it.
Well, there you go, Andrew, to give us a good one like that, because it's telling everybody, no, you can't afford not to do this, because it helps to organize your business from the rooter to the tutor. Yep. When it comes to data and even making more money. Yeah. Those retake fees are more costly than the actual product that you end up delivering to them in a picture package.
Yeah.
So Andrew, show us what you got.
Yeah. Do I get the apps, or do I have to get out of that or no?
Yeah. You should. Thank you.
I think I just did.
All right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, even that comes back to the example of just putting systems in place and then having software that can help enforce those systems automatically. So this is a peek at the dashboard of Shoot Assist. You'll notice I tend to lean very simple. Show me just the info that is most important. So this kind of gives you just your week at a glance of jobs that are coming up this week. We're looking at my family's business here. So jobs that are currently on the schedule for this week, if they've been confirmed or not, how many crews we're sending on a photo shoot. So all of that you'll notice here. And then I'll jump over to our workflow tab. This will give you a peek. So workflows in Shoot Assist work two ways. There is a granular view where obviously you can see what's next. What do I need to work on next? But my production managers at the companies that use Shoot Assist love this view, which is the bird's eye view. Show me where I'm at in the season. And so in this case, it's showing every fall portrait job that's scheduled, every task of every fall portrait job. So obviously anything that's green has been completed. Anything that's orange is due in the next couple of days. And I'm going to have to get on my parents' case because they've got a couple red tasks, which means they're currently past due. And so one thing I really love about this view is you can, most of my clients will put a big monitor in their office and keep this view on it 24/7. And it just gives you that bird's eye view of what's behind. What do I need to know about what's running on schedule? And so you'll notice that here you can view multiple job types at a time. I just have this set to fall portraits. But yeah, that gives you kind of an idea. I'll also show you what a job looks like in Shoot Assist. I'm screen sharing, so we might move a little slow here. Very slow, apparently. But yeah, I'll pull up. So this is what a job looks like in Shoot Assist. So you'll notice all the info at a glance, things like location, who the client is, where it's happening, where we're at in the process. You'll notice emails that have been sent to this particular client about this job, all sorts of custom fields that you can add. So whatever is important to you. In this case, my parents are specifying what vehicle will be used from the office and when they're meeting, and those sorts of pieces of information can all be tracked. So yeah, just a glance at some of the things Shoot Assist does there.
Excellent. Yeah, we get a lot more information than we can on a 3x5 card.
Yeah.
The world, sometimes you wonder, do we have to? Why do we? At the end of the day, folks, you can do anything, shortcut anything. We all know that. We've all tried it. And sometimes it just doesn't come out as ideal as you'd like.
Okay, I'm going to jump in here with just a little commercial. These are the kind of vendors and exhibitors and attendees who come to SPAC.
Yeah.
They are one of you. They found solutions to your specific business. They probably tested it 50 ways sideways and figured out what works best. That is one of the benefits of coming to SPAC and being a part of the SPAC community.
And I think that was a very timely commercial, Miss Corey. Thank you. We're such a tag team. No, in seriousness, this is what we get with the SPAC conference, and why we don't want to. I hope that we never brag about the impact and the importance of SPAC as an organization of volunteers and the community that's been created. It's not a bragging. It's knowing the value that we present and wanting to share that. It is such that our vendors, the people that come and actually pay to have a booth, are more than happy to advertise for us. They recruit people all the time that are doing business with them and say, hey, look, you need to go to SPAC, which is that speaks to the quality we have. I mean, how many of us as photographers don't like it when a principal calls a friendly principal and says, you need to talk to this photographer, or it's league president, hey, you need to talk to this photographer, because we had an experience that was out of this world. Boom, boom, boom. We all love it. Well, here we have our photographer friends of the industry who've developed services and products that are separate from their photography business that will give support to any photographer and their business. The data is secure. It is your data. They don't take and shop your data. They don't, you can vet all of those questions, but these folks know the pain points that we would have, and that's why they become such a valuable partner in the development of the products that they do develop. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you at this point. I think you've given us a good overview of what the value benefit of the products that you have are, and I think it's something that we all have to start to I think it's something that all of us as photographers absolutely should be getting involved in and using as a tool to make our business and our operations better. So thank you both, Andrew and Scott. And I hope to see you both at SPAC this year.
We'll be there.
As I always say, work smarter, not harder.
Oh,
work-life balance.
My daddy tried to teach me that, but I didn't quite learn the lesson.
That's a good rule.
Thank you, guys. Thank
Thanks
you so much.
Guys.
Appreciate it.
You
To
both.
all of our SPAC viewers out there, if there is a topic that you want us to discuss, if there's someone you want us to interview, by all means, drop me an email at spacgal@gmail.com, and we will get that scheduled as soon as possible. Thank you again. I look forward to seeing you guys in January, not far away. Calvin, you have something to say?
Yeah, it leads on the SPAC conference and our volunteers and our vendors. And I really want to look at the fact that here we have what ostensibly is two competing providers within our space that are willing to come on to share information, because it's common information that they're sharing. There's no proprietary information here, but it's common information, but we get it coming from two reliable sources at one time. And this is SPAC 1 for the conference, but it's also the value of seeing things on this SPAC chat channel. We talk to people that understand what our purpose is. We can all compete, but guess what? We're only in a small bubble. No matter who we are, we have our business. And the fact of the matter is, when we lose business, more often than not, it wasn't somebody else's fault. We need to look at who we point the finger at and remember our thumb is pointing back at us. It likely was something that we did that or did not do that caused us not to get the business. If you're providing a good, solid product, if you're providing good, solid service, you'll keep the business. These tools will help you stay on track and retain more business than not. So it's a real value. And as a part of the SPAC family, we thank you again for joining us. Have a good one, folks. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Okay, everybody. Thank you very much. Everyone have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.